I love my aunties. I love my cousins. And it was funny. My cousin said, we didn't grow up together, but maybe we should grow old together. Isn't
What?
that beautiful? I love it.
Yes,
So
that is beautiful.
What if you were taken from everything you were? Your land, your language, your people, before you even had words for any of it. Michelle Rice Gauvreau was born on a Mohawk reservation in Canada. She was adopted, illicitly, and raised in the United States in a home where abuse replaced the belonging she should have had by birthright. This was the 60s, the era of the 60s Scoop, when Indigenous children across North America were systematically removed from their families and communities and placed into white homes and handed a new identity like it was a gift. But we all know it wasn't a gift. Michelle's memoir, Who Am I? And that title does a lot, right, y'all? It's the story of what it costs to grow up without your foundations, without your family, your culture, your name meaning what it's supposed to mean. It's also the story of what survives anyway. Her Mohawk bloodline, her humor, her absolute refusal to stop looking for herself. This is one of those stories that reads like someone wrote it for the screen. I totally think most adoptee stories should be movies. Let's make that happen. This story is real, and that's exactly why we need to talk about it. This is Reckoning with the Primal Wound. I'm Autumn, and today we're lifting the fog yet again.
my birth mother did not want to give me up, but my grandmother made her. And it was another Native American man who adopted me from the same reservation. And he brought me down here to Connecticut because he was working here. And he died before I turned 3 and left me with a white mother who didn't know what to do with me, but she basically hid me from everybody. And when I found out I was adopted when I was 15, all hell broke loose, basically. I was determined to find my birth family, and I did. In my book, I write what I went through with her because she was a hoarder. She did not treat me well. She was an abuser. Did not have running water, did not have a refrigerator, didn't have a stove. She cooked on a hot plate. It was a terrible situation. But when I found out about my adoption from another family member within the adoptive family, I thought this was my time, to go find my birth family. So I demanded to go, and I'm 15, right? This is 1984. I'm 15, and I'm like, I want to go find my birth family. And she knew the names of my birth. She knew the name of my birth mother. She knew I had a brother, and my brother actually wrote to her because he found out about me not too long before I found out. I would like to get to know my sister if that is okay with you. And she hid that letter. It wasn't okay with her.
Like a scripted movie plot.
I'm telling you, I'm thinking I would love to have my book put into a screenplay. A lot of people have said that too, and it's like, well, okay, let's do it. So anyway, she refused at first, and I was pretty angry, and she finally gave in, and she put me on a Greyhound bus at 15 all the way up to Montreal. And of course, my birth family met me at the bus station with open arms. And but that whole 3 months that I was up there, I never let on because Leah, my adoptive mother, don't you tell them about my business. Don't you tell them how I raised you here. She had her hand over me. I never said a word, but I should have, because
She knew it was wrong.
Because I was raised in white society with different cultures, all mixed society. And then I go onto a reservation where it's just one cultural denomination. It was different for me, totally different for me. And I only knew English. I didn't know Mohawk. I didn't know French. I didn't know any other language or any other culture except for the Mohawk way. So that was different for me. So
I just think it's fascinating that your adoptive father was Mohawk too.
Yes, he was. And he died before I turned 3. So he would have shown me. He would have taught me many things. He would have brought me back. He would have let me know my birth family for sure. But he died, and it was unfortunate.
He died unexpectedly?
Yeah. Well, he had lung cancer.
Oh.
He died months of being diagnosed. Yeah, it was the asbestos. He was a Mohawk iron worker, so it was asbestos that took him. Yeah, so it was very terrible. Um,
And you
Very
don't
sad.
remember him, do you?
I don't, but the funniest things that you do remember, I remember bits and pieces of the funeral.
No way.
Yeah, I do. I remember bits and pieces. I remember the cemetery, just little bits and pieces of it.
Wow.
It was crazy, crazy.
Do you want to? I mean, the sequel to Reckoning with the Primal Wound is about fathers reckoning with the paternal wound,
I
and
know. And
so I'm
boy, do I
kind
have a story for you.
of that's why. Do you want to like keep talking about fathers? Is that okay?
Sure, sure. We'll fast
Um,
forward. We'll fast forward. So I've been in reunion with my birth mother's side for 40 years, and that has been wonderful. And of course, we've had a few years here and there where, we haven't talked, but we do. But in the last few years, it's been beautiful. Matter of fact, I was there this weekend and I really hated to leave them. It was just, I don't know. I love my aunties. I love my cousins. And it was funny. My cousin said, we didn't grow up together, but maybe we should grow old together.
what?
Isn't that beautiful? I love it.
Yes,
So
that is beautiful.
there may be a possibility I could move up there when I retire and just be with my
Oh
cousins.
my gosh. Ugh,
You know,
I crave that. I know. Yeah, that village community with your
that village,
like
that community, and just have Sunday dinners together or something. I think that would just be amazing.
I
So
know.
they said that a couple of years ago, one of my cousins, we didn't grow up together, Michelle, but we should grow old together. That just hit me. So there's another book, I think, right there. We should grow old together.
It's
You know,
writing itself. That's how some of our
this
stories
the
happen.
sequel
It's
is
like we
writing
can't
itself for sure.
same,
Uh,
yeah, with this one, but it's like birth fathers too are kind of invisible figures that no one asks about. And like
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
Well, all
feel
right.
like
So let's go back a little bit. So back in 1999, I'd always wanted to put a face to the man that made me. And when I was 15, I asked Sharon, my birth mother, so who is my father? And she knew his name, and she gave me the name. His name was Eddie. And she said at first she didn't know where he was anymore. I said, okay, she described him to me. She said, you kind of look like him. He had, brown, wavy hair, handsome man, probably about my height, maybe a couple inches taller and stuff like that. And, he was about to get married at the time, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, yeah. And, but anyway, I guess he was supposed to get married on a contract of some sort. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know. But I was 15 when she was explaining it to me, and that was that. But whenever she told him she was pregnant, he took off, you know. And whenever he learned that she had had me and was told that she had to give me up, I guess he showed up at my grandmother's house.
what? Why?
And my mother, Sharon, showed him pictures, and he excused himself to go to the bathroom. He was in there for quite a while, and he came out and he looked like he had been crying. And he
Oh,
gave back and he left. And that was the last she ever saw of him. And yeah, never saw him. Over the years, though, I guess my mother was with another man named Ricky. And he took my brother for a ride somewhere over to some trucking company, and it turned out to be my father's trucking company. We were in our 30s at the time, and Ricky knew my father. And he told Eddie, hey, I met your daughter. And Eddie had to quiet him down. Shush, I don't want anybody to know about this. Mike, my brother, was sitting there. Yeah, she's my sister. You should meet her. I don't want to know. No, 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 no. Something like that. So anyway, that was like I was in my 20s at the time. So whatever. I heard about this and I told my brother, I said, take me for a ride over there. Mike says, I don't remember where it was. I'm like, okay. Apparently my brother had been drinking and stuff like that. So whatever, it didn't really bother me too much.
mhm.
I figured at some point I would meet him. And I did, but it was years before I did. So one night I get a call. It's my mother. It's 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, whoa, something's wrong. No, nothing was wrong. My mother was feeling good. She was having a few drinks. And she says, Michelle, I know where your father is. I'm like, oh my God, what now? She says, Ryan, he's dating his daughter. I'm like, no, he's not.
What?
Two other daughters. So he was dating his daughter, Tina. And I was like, okay, do you have a telephone number I can call him? What? No, but I'm going to get Tina's number. He's been dating his daughter for a year now. She said she had to make sure the last name was correct. And apparently it was. And it was his daughter. But Ryan told Tina, hey, my auntie has a daughter by your father. Tina didn't want to believe it. Tina refused to believe it whatsoever. But Tina wanted to hear from me first. Okay, fine, great, wonderful. I said, I'm willing to call her to see if this is all true. But so my mother was sure, and it turned out to be correct. So I got Tina's telephone number. I called her, but apparently I called his house.
Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know. And apparently her mother picked up.
oh gosh.
I'm shaking at this point. And so Tina gets on the phone and I said, hi, Tina, this is Michelle, Ryan's cousin. Oh, hey, hang on a minute. She goes running down the stairs and picks up another phone. And I guess the other phone got hung up. And she says, oh, I was hoping you wouldn't call me here. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And so I said, I understand. I said, your dad is my dad. And, this Ryan, told my mother. And I said, this is the Pike. You're the Pike daughter, and she says, well, what do you think my last name is? How do you spell it? So I spelled it Pike. And she said, no, that's not how you spell it. I said, well, how am I supposed to know? But it was spelled with Py. And anyway, and so she didn't believe me from then on.
She tested you. Okay.
So she wouldn't give me his work telephone
Why
number.
would you make this up? Okay.
I'm not making any of this up, right? And I said, look, I've been looking for him for years. I just want to put a face to him. That's all I want. Would you let me call him? I had to ask her for permission. I didn't need anybody's permission to look for made me, right? So I said, look, I'm really sorry. I just want to look at him. That's all I really want. I just want to talk to him, see if he remembers anything, stuff like that. I have to think about this. Whatever. So she wouldn't even tell me where he worked. And of course, it's 1999. I mean, you didn't have all the information on the internet then, stuff like that. So, okay, whatever. And then Ryan, I guess, told my mother where he works. So, okay, maybe I can call them, which I did. And I got the information, but I waited. I waited till Tina told me.
Okay,
Tina
she did come back.
telephone number that I got. And then I finally got permission from her and I called him. I called him at his work. I said, hi, is Eddie there? Oh, this is. He was all joyful and everything. I said, do you remember Sharon? Yeah, I remember Sharon. I said, well, I'm Michelle. I'm her daughter. Silence. I've been waiting for this call. Yep.
Oh, I got chills.
Yeah. So he said
That's
that.
the
So
best.
we talked for a while. I said, I bet you were waiting for this call. I said, I've really been looking for you. And I said, I was really looking to see your face and, see the man who made me. And been looking for you for a long time. I said, I found Sharon when I was 15 and I was 30 at the time when I found him. So it was 15 years at that. We were talking for a good long time. I said, but I'd never told him I met Tina. I never told him I was.
Oh, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it yet. I didn't want to because I didn't want her knowing that she was involved yet. She was scared too at the time. That blew up later. So we were talking for a good long time. Yeah, I'd love to meet you, blah, blah, blah. How's your mother doing? I said, she's good, I said, I have a son now, I'm married, things like that. And yeah, we were talking forever. And chapter 11 in my book, the whole debacle,
Yeah.
we probably talked several more times. And then we talked about meeting. And we were going to meet at my mother's house.
Okay.
That's when it blew up.
Oh,
And
no.
I told Tina, I said, we're going to meet at my mother's house, but I'd like for you to be there. Is he a stupid man? He's stupid. I said, Tina, come on, you got to give me a break here. Give me a chance, okay? I'm not looking to cause any problems. I said, I just want to meet my father, okay? He's stupid. He's so stupid. Oh yeah, she was looking to just quash all of that. She didn't want that to happen. I said, Tina, you're more than welcome to come. You, Ryan, everybody. Okay, let's just support each other, okay? That's all I wanted. Oh my God, she was blowing up. So she calls him. She says, Dad, I know what's going on. You're gonna go meet Michelle at Sharon's. He got so mad. I didn't blame him at the time, you know. I didn't tell him about Tina. I didn't tell him that I had, you know, coordinated this and called her and knew that she was dating Ryan, my cousin Ryan. So I didn't sleep for 2 nights. I finally called him back. I said, Hi, Eddie, it's Michelle. He didn't say a word. He was mad as hell. Can't blame him. I talked to him. I said, Look, I know. And I didn't tell you about that I was talking to Tina, but she was dating my cousin, you know, things like that. And he
Oh,
said, well, really, really sorry, but I hope we can still meet. He said, Okay, we'll meet. He said, But I'm really upset that my daughter was involved. And I said, I get it. I get you're upset. And I get that she's upset too. She doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, doesn't know if I'm going to do something to you or do something to the family. I get it. I'm not. That's not me. That's not who I am. You know, I just want to see you. I just want to put a face to you. That's it. That's all I want.
yeah.
Okay. He was okay with it. So we still kept the date in November. So we kept talking on the phone, and then we solidified it up until the night before. He told me where to stop for gas, and I'm like, I know where to stop for gas. We're good.
It's such a
You know,
dad thing to do.
this place, and I'm like, I know where to put gas. We're good. I've been driving up here for years. I wanted to say, okay, Dad. No, nope,
I
didn't
know.
do it.
Too
Okay,
soon.
got it. Just the way he sounded, it was like, okay. So, you know, we got up there and Mike went out and went to go get some milk for us or something at the one of the reservation convenience stores. And all of a sudden, Eddie drove by in his truck. He described his truck. We had a Durango. So he saw us. He saw Mike and he followed Mike back to Sharon's house. And yeah, so it was good. Mike comes in first and he says, I think your father's outside. Oh, okay. I was frozen in place. Like, what do I do? I don't go outside. What? You know, up he comes, and boom, there you go. And I have pictures. I can share them with you later
Please.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look just like each other, absolutely. And it was a big long hug, really it was. And out comes my mother, toothbrush in her mouth. She
Sharon?
was nervous. Yeah, she had her toothbrush in her mouth, like, oh, hey, it's you. Okay. I was like,
What?
Mom, yeah,
What?
yeah.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
I
She's like,
love
I
Sharon.
saw you before. Hi, no big deal. I'll put the toothbrush away. It was so funny. But he couldn't stop hugging me. And I was like, he was really grateful to see me. You know, I looked well and, you know, he was grateful. I was grateful to see him too. Little did I know he was going to become a player later on. He came by each day on the weekend because he had to go to work. He didn't tell his wife. Tina came by a little bit later on with her 3-year-old son. He was adorable. And she and I looked every bit like each other. She had blonde hair, blue eyes. I had brown hair, brown eyes. Every bit. I have pictures of that too. If you just look at our faces, it was like, oh yeah, we are sisters,
Wow.
100%
Wow.
half sisters. But she did not like. She didn't like the situation at all because of her mother. Her mother was gonna have a freaking fit, which she did later on. Um, so anyway, we sat there for hours talking, Eddie and I. But then he started questioning my husband. He started talking about racing with my husband, talking numbers with about racing and cars. Well, my husband was a mechanic for years, so you don't talk mechanic stuff with my husband and thinking my husband doesn't know anything. So my husband knew everything, you know, and it was like, dude, what are you doing? You know,
Hmm.
so anyway, it was kind of weird. My husband said to me later on after Eddie left to go to work, he says, I don't trust him. He's a
Dang.
player.
Dang.
And Sharon, my mother, said, be careful. He's an absolute player. So yeah, I got that. Okay.
Did you
So I
feel it though? You felt it too?
kind of felt it. I kind of felt it. It was just like he was playing it up a little bit. So the next day he came by about 1 o'clock and we had lunch ready and stuff like that. And Tina came by with her son too. And she said, let's go to lunch in Montreal. Eddie only had like an hour or so to stick around. And okay, we went to lunch and she didn't say too much. She was just doing it out of, it was like, okay, let's go to lunch. I don't think she really wanted to, but I think Eddie talked her into it. Go take him to lunch. Here's some money. Okay, it was weird, felt weird, but I tried to talk to her a little bit. She only gave me one word answers, yes, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Anyway, the next day was kind of the last day, and he came over at night, and my cousin Lana came over, and Lana didn't seem to feel anything or make anything out of it. She almost had tears because she felt very happy for me, but she wasn't seeing the big picture. And she said, you're so lucky, Michelle. You got to meet both your birth parents and stuff. And Mike and I are just sitting there going, yeah, I don't know about this. I just said to Lana, I said, well, I'm just feeling lucky because I put the face to the man that made me. But anyway, when he was leaving, I went outside and all of a sudden he says to me, we're going to have you to our cabin in Quebec. You're going to have Christmases with us and you're a part of the family now. And all of a sudden I'm pulling back going, sure I am, because I had a feeling because I hadn't met his wife yet. I hadn't met his other daughter yet.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Back up there, pal. I'm like, yep, sure not going to happen. Then all of a sudden he says, well, he said this earlier in front of his daughter, Tina. He says, I'm going to have to tell your mother, Tina. And I looked at him. I said, you don't have to tell your wife. I'm 30 years old. I don't need anything. I said, you don't have to tell your family. I'm good. Really, I'm good. You don't have to. If it's going to bring shame on your family, don't worry about it. I was like, I had a feeling it was going to really be bad. And I'm like, no, you don't have to tell your family. Well, anyway,
He did.
anyway, after he left that night, after telling me I was going to be a big part of the family, we're going to spend Christmases and holidays together. No, it's okay. I left. He calls me up 2 days later and he says, you know what? He says, maybe you should write a letter to my wife.
Oh, you do it? What?
So I said, really? Okay. So I fell for it. I wrote it. I said, I'm sure there's not a feeling you can validate, blah, blah, blah. I wrote a big letter. I faxed it to him. He said, that's a beautiful letter. Go ahead. Okay. I sent it. She called me up, screaming at me,
Oh, no.
telling me I was looking to destroy a family,
Right.
telling me I wanted money. Was
Right.
he going to be a father to me? Did I want him to be my father? Was he going to be a grandfather to my son? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, just screaming at me. I'm like, lady, I came up looking for my father. That's all I wanted. I wanted to put a face to the man that made me. And he's a grown man. If he wanted to be some sort of influence in my life, he has that right to do so. If he wants to be a father, if he wants to be a grandfather to his grandson, he can. He can. He always talked about taking my son fishing. If he dare comes near my son now, I'd probably kill him. In any event,
Wow.
oh yeah, she just screamed at me, screamed at me, and screamed at me. It was like,
Sorry.
problem, lady. Anyway, it just blew me away.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that at all, right?
No, I was not expecting that at all. At all.
Because it's almost like he
So
set you
anyway,
up because he must have known how she would react.
I knew he knew at that point. I knew
Was
he
he
knew.
just hoping that maybe she'd change who she was?
Well, I have a feeling because I told her, I said, he asked me to write that letter to you. Somebody's bullshitting me here, she says. I'm like, oh, there's a.
Yeah, what did he tell her?
He calls me back up with her on the other line. You lose my number. Oh, really? Really? Yeah.
Oh, he
So
did
then
set you up.
I heard from my cousin Ryan after that she has supposedly asked me for a DNA test. She never did. Never, ever did she ever ask me for a DNA test because I would have said, here you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Here you go. Still today, I would be like, here you go.
That's how I am with people who don't believe. I'm
You
like,
want my blood? I'll
you
give it to
really
you.
think?
And I have pictures to prove it. how are you going to deny these looks? You know, I mean, anybody can see that I am totally related to them.
Really?
So anyway, that set me off big time. And then she calls me like right back after about a half hour and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry he did that to you." I said, "No, you're not, Sandy. You got your way. You got your way. And by the way, I heard he married you on a contract."
Oh, Michelle with the burn.
Big burn. But you know what? It was the truth, I was told. So, whatever. They have two daughters out of it. One daughter was a famous photographer in Montreal too. So she did weddings and stuff like that. And I was proud of that one. I really am. She did great. Tina, I don't know what she did. I whatever, whatever. She won't talk to me. She hates my guts. She thinks I did something so bad. Oh yeah, she thinks I'm horrible. I'm a big monster.
This is
My
the
book, when my book came
weirdest.
out, the Reservation Radio did a big interview. I also got put in the newspaper up there too. I have a newspaper article that was done as well. I'm sure they saw it. I actually sent Eddie and Sandy a copy of my book. I don't know if it was intercepted or not.
I really want to know.
I did it. In the last couple of times I was up there, like I said, I drive by their house, beep the horn, bye.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is such a juicy story, Michelle.
Oh, well, it is what it is because they know
Yeah.
I exist and they hate the fact that I exist, but that's
It's just an awful reaction that I can't believe so many of us have to deal with. Not
it is.
me, thank goodness, but
Well, yeah,
that's why I was scared to get in touch with my paternal side too, because I thought that might happen.
really.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, because you never know.
Well, yeah, you never know. You never know. But Eddie played it up in the beginning, like, "Hey, you're going to be a big part of our family." Your wife ain't having it,
Yeah,
So
gotta,
I think if it were a different circumstance, if she weren't around, I think he probably would still have me around, but not as long as she's around. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's a terrible situation. It really
And it
is.
doesn't have
I'm
to
sorry for
be.
that.
It's just so unfortunate because
It is. It
it
is.
could
It is
totally
unfortunate.
be different. And like Frankie Joe's birthday is in 3 weeks, and
Yeah,
my birth father's wife like immediately was like, "What does she want?" And they're just so accepting and like,
that's nice.
and it's
That's nice.
easy and
Yeah.
natural and good and positive. And it's like it could be like that if everyone would just
Mhm.
stop making it about themselves and
Oh,
feeling
I
like
know.
a victim of this.
But on the other side of that, with my birth mother's family, I feel so lucky and so supportive.
Right, you've got that there.
I got that there, and like I said, I was having a hard time leaving yesterday from Canada because, man, I'm loved. I'm loved by
Ugh,
my birth family, by my birth mother's side. And oh, I love my aunties so much. I love spending time with them. And maybe around retirement time, I might move back to the reservation. Hindsight was 2020 when I was 18, you know, but I
ugh,
think I might move back there. It's a beautiful area.
oh,
It really is. But I have things to do down here in Connecticut right now, you
yeah,
know.
you'll
You
know
know,
because you are like in the flow. And
I'm in the flow of things, but definitely I think I might go back up there and just be with my cousins like they said. We should
yeah,
grow old together,
oh, I
That would
know
be
that is
wonderful.
the best bookend to this whole story is
Right?
we didn't get to
Right?
grow up together, but let's grow old together.
Right? Exactly. That was wonderful. And that's going to be an update to my current book because I have updates to that. So the only thing I am waiting for, which will be sad, and my mother is not doing well. She's on dialysis. I am waiting for her death. That will be the update to the book. So I have to process that and I have to write about that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm waiting for. I saw her and she's really not doing well. She
Really?
will be going into long-term care after this week, I believe.
Oh, this soon.
Yeah, well, they went for a meeting today to get her in, but they have to make a decision. It's a big thing up there. They have to decide and figure out things first.
Oh,
The house,
Michelle,
everything. They have to figure out things first. So
that's
maybe
so
it won't be
heavy.
this, maybe it won't be, maybe
Yeah,
maybe in a month or so. I don't know.
but
I'm not
still,
sure how it works, but yeah, I think it'll be soon.
that's like the sad part about adding to your family is that when there is more love, there's more of those
Oh,
feelings with the
absolutely.
loss. But I love that you're writing and processing through
Absolutely.
that and can
Never
share with
realized how
everybody else.
cathartic it is,
So
to write
cathartic.
my stuff. And I'm starting a new series actually. It's called Healing My Way, and I'm hoping maybe it'll be healing for others. It's called Healing My Way, My Way with forgiveness, truth, storytelling, faith, things like that. So it's going to be a lot of series of healing.
Well, tell me more about that and where people can
So,
find you.
um, it just came to me basically. So I was going to start healing my way with animals, healing my way with imagery, therapy. But I decided to make it a bigger series. And it's just about me basically and how I'm doing it and how I just go along with it, and how it makes me feel better, you
Hmm.
know? So it's about
Sure.
me being happy with my family, so what that makes me feel like. And I write about it.
Okay.
Okay. So feeling my way with cooking. Okay. This tastes good. So, or don't do it this way. I didn't like that, so that's not going to make you happy. So, healing my way with music. Well, music, oh, that's my saving grace. So I go back to my favorite music, which is the 80s, or I will go to Native American flute music. Okay, so sometimes it
Oh,
doesn't make sense with me. Okay, I'm quirky, but I like it. But you have to be in the mood for it, or you need that therapy for it. Just sit down in a quiet space, listen to that flute. Or if you want to just jump around, go back to that pop 80s. Boom, there you go. And you
oh,
feel better after you jump around, you
this
know?
is like reminding me of Nicola Perez's book I'm reading right now, How to Do the Work, and it's very like be present, like
Be present. Yeah, yeah, you have to be present in yourself to get to that healing.
but do it, but
Absolutely.
pairing it with something like you're saying, nature, food, animals, that is just a practice in being present. So
Yes.
I
Yep.
love that you're doing that and that people
I
can
am.
join
I
you.
am.
Where can they join you though? Is this like on what platform?
Oh, it's not a platform. They're gonna be books.
They're gonna be little books.
They're gonna be little books. Yeah,
Okay. I
they're gonna be little books. But maybe I'll do a podcast series on that. I think that would be really cool too.
yeah,
I think that would be neat. All right, I will let you know for
this is
sure.
great. I love this conversation, Michelle. I'm so glad you came on the Reckoning with the Primal Wound podcast to talk about the paternal wound. Would you say there is a wound there? Like
There's a
on the
little wound there.
right? Let's talk about it.
Well, my father was certainly a big wound.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we need to talk about
There's a
that
big
side of
wound
it.
there. There's a sister wound there too, but
You know what? The
I just
sibling
had my
wound,
thing.
you talk about series. Like, I think
Yeah,
this
but
could
that's
go on.
okay.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what?
fine. It's good.
I was raised as a only child, but I have six other wait, sister, brother, sister, brother. Yeah, I have five other brothers and sisters, but I was raised by myself,
Yep, isn't that
so
weird?
yeah, weird. Very weird. But
Yeah, I've got a
I
lot of
was okay with that. I
yeah,
was okay with that.
and
So
we're totally meant to be here, and
oh,
we're
there's a
wounded
reason why we're
healers.
here.
I love that label. I don't shy away from it. The wounded
No,
healer.
no, I don't shy away from that. Not one bit. Because you're as you said, there's a reason we're here for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we have something to do.
Oh yeah, especially now. So I'm so glad
Yeah,
on the
me too.
show, and it was
Me
great to
too.
connect
Me
with you.
too.